Hello everybody, my name is Kiana and this is my makeup artist Faith.
Hello.
She's going to be doing my makeup, so we're going to do a shop talk. She's going to teach me how to do my eyebrows while I go over with her some of the concept that we've learned. So if you do not know how to do your eyebrows or if you do not know anything about African American literature, please stay tuned for this video. So, Faith, first I do want you to kind of show everybody the products that we're going to be using, talk to them about that, and then we'll go straight into you putting it on my face and me quizzing you about African American literature.
Okay, so today for my friend Kiana's brows, we're going to be using the Anastasia Dip Brow in Ebony. I don't know if y'all can see that. And in order to apply it, you use an angle brush and a pencil for lining the outline and concealer to clean the brows up.
And y'all, all this stuff is, okay, well, the dip brow stuff, that's expensive. I think that's robbery and theft. But this was like $3 at the hair store. It has all the shades. Mine, right here in the corner. All the makeup companies in the world, we would love for y'all to make makeup.
And this is about $20, but it lasts a long time. As you can see, she's had it for a while, and it's
actually it was like $26. So.
Okay, well, 2026. If you got the money, spend it.
Robbery.
Okay, so let's get to it.
Okay, so I made note cards so I can keep track with what it is that I want to ask you. Okay. So what's the first step in the eyebrows before I start talking?
First, we take the pencil and we're going to line the outside of the brows before we fill in. Now, as you can see, Kiana's brows are fairly shaped nicely.
On fleek.
And they're cleaned up.
Shout out to Tina. Hooked your girl up. Okay, so I started taking this class in January. Of course, I am graduating on Saturday, so I needed the class. Didn't really want to take it, but I needed it. So I figured, why not do something that is actually interesting to me? My dad and I, we kind of talk about African American history a lot, but we've never really dove into literature in a sense. So with that being said, what do you know about African American literature, Faith?
I know that a lot of African American literature talks about the slavery times and post-slavery, and they detail the stories in a way that people who aren't African American or don't understand the lifestyle and all the struggles had to go to, it kind of gives them an insight to how times were back then.
Okay, so let me ask you this. If you could put yourself in the shoes of someone who is either a slave or just being freed and them writing about their experiences, knowing that Black people aren't going to read it, like, what do you think their thought process is behind that? Because we're reading this now. So just imagine you sitting in like a dark place with a candle, just writing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What do you think that thought process is?
I'm sure they were writing to get it out there so that us now can know all that they went through to make sure that we were free. And unfortunately for us, whatever reason, not everyone understands or is able to grasp and appreciate everything that they went through. But if they knew the struggles that our ancestors went through and how hard it was for them to even sit down and just learn English alone, they would probably be more interested in the literature.
So, do you think that because at that time, especially at the beginning of, African American literature, when people started writing and publishing their things, do you think that those Caucasian audiences, do you think they felt attacked in a sense, or do you think that literature is what makes them appreciate Black culture? Like if we look at Kylie Jenner, do you ever think Kylie Jenner picked up a book?
No.
Do you ever think do you think she ever read the Olaudah Equiano story and learned that he was captured as a young boy, brought to the United States under the impression that he wasn't a slave? Because back then that was what happened. In Africa, that's what goes on when, you do something wrong. You can be held as a slave by another tribe, but it's not necessarily slave. You know what I'm saying? Compared to chattel slavery that happened in the United States. So, like, do you think people now, Lady Gaga, Kylie Jenner, people that emulate African American culture, do you think that those people actually understand and appreciate what goes into being black?
No, I don't.
Why?
And based on the examples you gave, I don't think, I can't speak for Lady Gaga because I don't really keep up with her like that, and she's not in the media. But as far as Kylie Jenner, I wouldn't say that she appreciates and understands black culture, black experience, or black struggles. If anything, she more just likes the glamorous part of it, or the aesthetic part of being black, such as the lips or the butt,
Her and her whole family.
Yeah.
And they all got black husbands.
And
No
I'm
shade,
sure
no
if
tea.
she had picked up a book of African American literature, some of the things she does as regards to black culture, she probably wouldn't do.
Okay, cool. Which perfectly flows into my next question. Have you ever heard of Larry Neal?
No, ma'am, I have not.
Okay, so Larry Neal was a poet during the Black Arts Movement. The Black Arts Movement, for me, the best way to explain it to somebody who's never heard of it, it is a movement where African American people were channeling their identities and standing in for what they believed in and channeling that through their arts. So through literature, through poetry, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Through photographs and things like that. So I felt like, wow, you can do it from behind? That is fancy. So, I just feel like that was a time where they were really capitalizing on who it was that they wanted to be as African Americans. You know what I mean? So Larry Neal, he discusses black aesthetic, and he has this quote that I have here. I'm going to read it to you, and I kind of want you to try and break it down for me and tell me what you took from it, okay? So Larry Neal insists the following: the motive behind the black aesthetic is the destruction of the white thing, the destruction of white ideas, and the white ways of looking at the world. The new aesthetics are mostly predicated on an ethics which acts as the question, whose vision of the world is finally more meaningful, ours or the white oppressors? You look stumped.
Well, as far as whose vision, I would still say that it is not our vision.
And what do you mean by that?
As in, although us as a majority may want change and may mean well, we're not on the same accord when it comes to getting change. So instead of fulfilling what we want to fulfill, we're really giving them, the white man and all of them, more, we're adding more fuel to their fight.
Okay, so what is your advice to an African American person who goes outside of what Caucasian people believe African Americans to be? In 1985, the MOVE movement was bombed in Philadelphia behind practicing what they believe in. They were practicing natural health care. They were having at-home births. They were protecting animals. They were preserving themselves. They were, natural peoples. They were vegan. Of course, because they were vegan and they used only natural items, it kept up quite a smell. And they were seen as public enemy because they were practicing what it was that they believed in. Other people grasped to it, they gravitated to it, but the whole entire city of Philadelphia believed that they were wrong and bombed them and all of their members inside of a home. So what is your advice to someone who knows who they are as an African American person? They stand for what they believe in, but that's not, if, like you're saying, if it's not going to change how they look at us, what would you advise a person to do?
I would still think stand for yourself. Different people have different strengths.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone is not able to do the super activist lifestyle for change, but we all have different strengths. So if your strength is teaching, then teach. And if yours is talking to people, then whenever you're in a position to explain to people who aren't African American or just open their eyes, then do so. And if your strength is leading or being an activist, then do so, and do so without apology. If it works, cool. If it doesn't, at least you tried, and hopefully you will inspire more people to do the same.
So when you hear of people like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr., Marcus Garvey, do you feel that same way? You were an activist. You did exactly what it was that you felt was the right thing for you to do in a way to help your people and implement change in the world, because the things that those men did, they paved the way for us to be where we are right now. You know what I'm saying? So do you think, the things that they did and the ways that they've helped people, would you consider it honorable? And
yes,
for anyone, who doesn't know of African American literature and they know of those people, what would you say to them?
I would tell them to look at those exact examples, because they all had different means of going about change, and no way was right and no way was, well, I won't say no way was right, but no way was wrong. They were all just different.
Hold on. So what is the right way then?
Well, I don't know the right way, because we seem to still be in the same spot, but I do know.
I like how you cleaned that up. I was finna attack you.
But I do know that I guess every way can be the right way if we get enough people to do it.
I like that. So on the topic of implementing change and, people being done wrongly behind their beliefs, is there any beliefs, ideas, or concepts that you would die behind?
Die behind. Literally die, or just...
I mean, literally. Like, is there anything in this world to you, any concept, not a person, any concept, belief, or idea that you would be assassinated for? And you know that you would die at peace, or you would die knowing that whatever it is that you believe in is going to withstand you being dead. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like a legacy. Malcolm X, he was assassinated. He was painted as a bad man, as a violent man, because unlike Dr. King, he believed in change by any means necessary instead of nonviolence. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And he died for that. But so did Martin Luther King. They went about the same thing 2 different ways, but they both had the same end result. And they're still people that I look up to and think about when I think about, okay, how do I want to go about implementing change in my life? Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, like I said, like what is it that you would die for? For me, that is the hardest question. That is a question that I genuinely have yet to come to an answer to, because for me, there's a lot of things in this world worth dying for, but I don't know if I have a set system of beliefs that I would die for. I feel like it's an in the moment kind of thing.